Welcome back to PFT Live on NBC Sports Radio, hour number 2. And if you were listening to the program a minute ago, Demaryius Thomas dropping some pretty strong stuff as it relates to the 2014 Denver Broncos. He questioned the fight of some of the members of the team. He said that they looked past the Colts, and he said the night before the playoff game against the Colts, some of his teammates were actually talking about how they didn't want to go to New England the following week. So, wow. And that meshes with comments from Jeremy Mincey, formerly of the Broncos, after he left the team in early 2014, that the Broncos were lackadaisical when they were playing the Seahawks last year. So maybe John Elway knows a little bit more than people would suggest about why a coaching change was needed. Speaking of coaching changes, we got a guy with a team that just made a coaching change. Jared Allen in the flesh.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're tall. Or I'm short. Which one is it?
It's a mixture. It's just
Thanks.
a mixture, yeah. I'm going to blame it on camera angles.
That's it. That's it. It's all lighting and tricks. How's everything?
Oh, I can't complain. Life's good. Got 2 healthy kids and a beautiful wife.
How old are your kids?
3 and 6 months. Almost 6 months.
How does is it boy or girl older?
2 girls.
How does big sister feel about little sister?
You know what? She loves her, in doses. So she plays a little bit and then goes and does her thing. So we've been blessed so far.
How do you like playing for the Chicago Bears?
You know what? It's been great. It was a rough year. But our fan base is phenomenal. Organization is great. I mean, there's so much history in Chicago that it's hard not to enjoy, walking into a building when you see, Walter Payton's name everywhere, Dick Butkus, and, great Coach Ditka, all that stuff. And you realize how great of a player he was, too. So.
How weird was it to play against the Vikings after all those years in Minnesota?
It was different. You're at a place for so long and had so much success there, it becomes a part of you. And, I loved Minnesota. Every good memory, bad memory, it's all part of it. And, unfortunately, things changed, and they were getting younger, and I was trying to go to a contender, and unfortunately the Bears, we didn't have the year we wanted to, but we are talented, and playing the Vikes was always cool. It's always fun to play against your friends, and the fans were great welcoming me back. So.
You said good memory and bad memory in Minnesota. What was your worst memory from Minnesota?
Losing the NFC Championship game. I mean, come on, that was heartbreaking.
Did you and we're talking to Jared Allen now, the Chicago Bears, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, and before that for a few years, Kansas City Chiefs. Did you sense anything weird during that game, that they were trying to put Favre in the hospital?
No, you know what, and you know how you stop that? Throw the flag. That's easy. So they were playing aggressive. Both sides were playing aggressive. I think we had 5 turnovers that game. So you take away the turnovers, it's a different story. But you know what? That's why you play the games. And everybody talked about that at the end of it. But if you throw the flags, if you think it's a penalty, throw the flags, and the team won't do it. But to cry over spilt milk is a waste of time.
What do you think of John Fox as your new head coach?
I'm excited. I haven't talked to him yet, so looking forward to speaking with him and seeing what the game plan is, what kind of defense we're running. But I think what the organization's done is they've really put together a coaching staff that is a win now type of staff, and I think with the talent we have on our roster, that this could be a staff that could maximize everything that we do. And obviously John has a great track record. He has you talk to players that have played for him. We have mutual friends, and everybody speaks highly of them. And so just excited to see where the future goes. What
ultimately went wrong last year for the Bears?
Oh, what did? I mean, you had injuries. We had this, that, and the other. But the bottom line, we weren't consistent. I mean, we just didn't get the job done when we needed to get done. Whether it's, what coaches were selling didn't come across, or guys, we weren't consistent. And as a player, you have to take full responsibility for it. When you get on that field, it's your job to perform. And we didn't do it at a level that was high enough to win every week.
We're with Jared Allen of the Chicago Bears here on PFT Live and NBC Sports Radio. Jay Feely, who spent some time this past season kicking with the Bears, said this week that your quarterback, Jay Cutler, will never be a leader. Any response to that?
I think what people's idea of a leader is. You know what I mean? I mean, for example, I played with Tony Gonzalez in Kansas City. Tony is one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game, one of the greatest football players to ever play the game. But he wasn't a vocal leader. He wasn't that guy. But Tony taught me so much through his actions that, about work ethic and discipline and everything like that. I think, a guy doesn't always have to be vocal. A guy doesn't always have to be rah-rah emotion. I've competed.
You do that too, though. That's the way you lead. You lead by example. Show up every day.
I try to. And you know what? And I will say one thing. You cannot take work ethic away from Jay. He's always in the building. He's always studying. He's practices. He's not the guy that's taking plays off. But, I say anything. If we're going to you know, this year we got behind a lot. We threw the ball 50 times a game. You're going to have picks. You know, I think if you know, I'm excited to see what we can do. I mean, we have a great running back in Matt Forte. I'd like to see us use him more. You know, so I went to Chicago because again, I've competed against Jay for many years, and I know the fire and the tenacity that he has, and I know the ability he has. I mean, you look at the year before he got hurt, he was having a great year. Everybody said Trustman, you know, resurrected Jay Cutler. But we live in a market where if you don't win, you're going to get all the criticism. So I view it as, it's just what kind of leader are you going to be? You don't always have to be the vocal guy, but Jay sits there and he answers tough questions every week. He takes all the heat every week, and you know, just so what if the guy doesn't want to be, you know, emotional, and the guy doesn't want to speak up? You know what? I view him on his work ethic and what he puts into the game. And if I thought he wasn't putting anything into the game, I'd say something. But you know, I got no problem with Jay.
He's Jared Allen, Bears defensive end here on PFT Live. Does a football team, though, need somebody who will be a vocal leader, regardless of whether it's quarterback or somebody, for the guys who don't respond to the example that
you got guys like Brandon Marshall? I mean, you know,
do they listen to Brandon?
But you know, I think, but what's vocal leadership? I mean, if I have a problem with a guy, I'm not going to call him out in the middle of the locker room. That's not being a leader. You know, being a leader is taking a guy aside and saying, hey, you need, you know, this. Majority of good leaders, you never know what they talk about. You know, because they're going to have individual conversations with guys, you know, getting upset. But, yeah, when Brandon shows that emotion, that's good, because Brandon's one of the best wide receivers in the game. So when young guys see that kind of emotion come from him, you know, I'm an emotional guy, too. You're going to see it on the sideline, you see it in the locker room. But, you know, ranting and raving is different than motivating, you know. And I think the best way, this is professional football. If you don't want to be the best, if you're not self-motivated, you really don't have a place in this game. If you need a rah-rah speech to get going every week, you have no business in this game. And, you know, we have a very talented roster, and part of that is managing that talent. And, you know, that's what makes coaches good coaches, right? Getting the best out of their players. And, you know, and again, you saw some games where we played phenomenal. You saw some games where it just wasn't up to par, and unfortunately there was too many of those games, and then you get injury stricken and that kind of stuff, and you know, guys got to step up and make plays, and we didn't make it enough. But I'm like I said, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see where this goes.
He's Jared Allen, Bears defensive end. You've provided a great example to your teammates over the years. You provide a great example for everybody else off the field with the work you do for the Home for Wounded Warriors. Talk about what you have going on now.
Yeah, so my foundation, Jared Allen's Homes for Wounded Warriors, we just teamed up with Lane Furniture. Lane Furniture is designing a new recliner called the Valor Chair, and a portion of all the proceeds made from the sales of this chair are going to come to the foundation. Having a company as big as Lane with the reach that they have and putting the financial support just allows us to touch the lives of many of our wounded vets coming home. And that's what we do. We build and remodel homes to make them handicap accessible for our wounded vets coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. And you know, again, with a partner like Lane, the awareness that they can bring, the financial backing that they support, I mean, we're going to be able to positively impact the lives of so many more people. I mean, we already have a great list of sponsors that support what we do, and you know, we've been around since 2009. We're currently about to finish our 8th home. We have a new recipient up in Oregon we're getting ready to build. Hopefully we're going to do a home out in North Carolina soon. We're looking for, you know, with a partner like this, it really expands your reach throughout the whole United States, and we're just thrilled. And again, I mean, it gives another way for our supporters to help. Not only can you go online to homesforwoundedwarriors.com and you can give a donation, but now you can buy a legit it's American made, like made of steel. It's like the all-American recliner. I was sitting there the other day and I was like, oh goodness, I want this. And so, you know, now I mean, you're gonna buy a great product, but not only that, you're gonna change the lives of great Americans.
And what's this about? Lane is the newest sponsor of your pro bull team. What's that all about?
Oh yeah, you know, that's another
bull riding.
Yeah, I own PBR bucking bulls.
Do you ride a bull?
No, I don't. I own PBR bucking bulls, and we have riders that ride for our team, and it's kind of a NASCAR style, and you know, portions of all that comes back to our foundation, and you know, we're just thrilled to have them on board with everything we do.
Do you ride horses, or do the horses ride you?
No, I ride horses. I grew up on a ranch, so my dad trained reining and cutting horses, you know, for a good 30+ years, and so, you know, the transition to the bull world was different, but it's similar because of the Western style. But yeah, you know, I grew up. My old man's an old cowboy. I grew up, you know, cleaning stalls before high school, all that good stuff.
We've talked several times before on the phone. This is the first time we've ever talked in person. I've come to a conclusion over the last 10 minutes.
What's that?
You could kill me if you wanted to.
Oh no, I'm a gentle giant. Right?
I mean, if you wanted to. Hopefully you'll never choose to. But great stuff from Jared Allen. Thanks for taking some time. Check out the homesforwoundedwarriors.com, and we'll be back with more PFT Live on NBC Sports Radio.